Hello, everyone. Good morning, and welcome to my fourth episode of my Saturday morning reflections. So, today the topic is very, very interesting because I know that I'm not the only one who feels that they're lost in their journey, whether in their career, in their life, and for anything that you're trying to pursue. But there's hope because you're not alone, and I hope that this morning reflection relates to you, and that there's so much to be grateful for and so much to look forward to in life. So, thank you for joining me and enjoy. You know, I've been thinking a lot lately about this feeling of being stuck or lost. Like, have you ever felt like you're not where you're supposed to be? It's something that creeps upon me more often than I like to admit. I start to question whether I'm moving fast enough, achieving enough, doing enough. It's like I'm constantly measuring myself against this some invisible standard. The worst is I know deep down it's all in my head, and that where we are in life is exactly where we're supposed to be, where we're meant to be at that moment. But still, the comparison game gets the best of me sometimes. For example, I'll be scrolling through social media and you see all these people, your friends, content creators, influencers, launching their own companies or living this, picture perfect life. And meanwhile, I'm over here just trying to balance work, content creation, and personal growth, right? So I know their path isn't my path, but there's always that little voice in the back of my mind saying, why aren't you there yet? So weird. But here's the thing. Comparing yourself to others is really, really tricky, right? You're not walking other people's lives, and your successes and milestones are different from theirs. So it's easy to forget that what we're seeing, it's just a highlight reel. You don't see their struggles, their doubts, or the moments when they've felt just as lost as we do. So, comparing yourself to someone else can be helpful if you're learning from their journey, but it's dangerous when it makes you feel like you're falling behind. So I'll give an example from my own life. A few years back, I had this job that I really loved. I was working with a great team. The work was fulfilling, and I had built a strong, solid relationship with my colleagues. Honestly, it was a kind of job where you don't walk away from easily. And I was like thinking, this is the kind of job that I'd like to be at for years. But after a while, I started to feel restless. It was like a low hum in the back of my mind. Nothing was really wrong, but something wasn't right either. So it's kind of a weird feeling. So I tried to shake it off at first. And I tell myself, you're lucky to have this job, or you should be grateful. But that feeling didn't go away. I felt like I needed to spread my wings, try something different, push myself in a way that I hadn't before. But I'll be honest, the fear of failure was real. What if I left and it didn't work out? What if I regretted this job the second I started? It wasn't just the fear of failure. It was the fear of leaving the comfort of something I knew for the uncertainty of something I didn't. So big difference. So one night, I was talking to my husband, and I said, I feel like I'm waiting for a sign. Something to tell me if this is the right move. And wouldn't you know it, a few weeks later, little things started happening. And I was offered a leadership role. And I remember feeling almost annoyed at how unexcited I was. After going through the series of interviews, loving the people I met, I was like, what? And usually that would have been the kind of thing that got me pumped. But instead I felt indifferent. Then I'd catch myself daydreaming about what life could be if I took that risk. I was sitting in a meeting, And while everyone was so engaged in a lively discussion, I realized I was just mentally checked out. I was done. These small moments were piling up, and I knew I couldn't ignore them. And I'd asked myself, please, can I get a sign? But if it was there, where is it? But the thing is, when you ask for a sign, you've got to be ready to see it and accept it. When it comes and what comes next after that, it's a commitment, right? So I finally made the decision to leave that job. And it was terrifying. First, handing my resignation to my boss. I didn't know if I'd even land on my feet. It was an intense mixture of fear and excitement at the same time. After I left, I started this new job. And it wasn't an easy transition. There were days I questioned if I'd made the right choice. The first few months were tough. I wasn't used to the new environment, and I had to learn. I learned a lot of things very, very quickly. But slowly, I started to see that it was exactly what I needed. It pushed me in ways I didn't anticipate. It opened new doors for me. And looking back, I realized that leaving the comfortable, safe job was the best decision I'd ever made. It wasn't just about the job itself. It was about learning to trust my gut and take a leap, even when I was scared. And that's what I want to remind myself, and maybe anyone else feels lost about. Sometimes the fear of failure will always be there when you step into something new. You just have to learn to always trust your gut. The answers will always be unclear at times or clear. The small signs, the little whispers that tell you it's time for change. Trust me, you need to pay attention to those. If you're feeling lost or like you're behind, you're not. You're right where you need to be. And that comparison trap, very tricky. It's always there, but it's up to us as to how we respond to it. And focusing on how far we have to go, maybe we need to look at how far we've already come. And if that whisper inside you says, it's time for change, listen. Ask for a sign, watch for the little moments, and when the time comes, don't be afraid to just take that leap. You might just find it's exactly what you need to spread your wings. So thank you for the privilege of having you walk with me again on this amazing Saturday for the fourth version of my Saturday morning walking reflections. Until the next episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more.